Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Stott and I'm the Emperor of Stomaria. Today I want to give a progress report for Southwood, a Stomarian province. Now I should be honest, this isn't really going to be a progress report in the traditional sense because there's not a lot to report on, but I find myself down here at the end of August, so it's actually bank holiday Monday, and I thought I'd take the opportunity to come down here just to basically do some weeding and sort out the rhubarb. So the last harvest of rhubarb was actually a few weeks ago, probably a month ago or more actually at this point. Yeah, so it's just a case of pruning back the dead leaves, composting those, and just waiting to have the rest of the rhubarb die back so that can too be composted. And before you know it, we'll be using what we've learnt in terms of what's growing and what isn't, which crowns have succeeded and which crowns haven't. And I shall be using that knowledge to plant some more crowns in the probably early spring of next year, so 2026, and hopefully we'll have a fuller harvest. However, because I'm now keeping a record of which crowns have succeeded and which crowns haven't, if I find that particular plots, that is to say particular raised beds, because they're all numbered, so if I find that any in particular raised bed, any particular little plot there isn't performing for whatever reason, either maybe there's not enough light there, or maybe there's something to do with the soil or something like that, then I can have another look at that in more detail. But keeping a record is going to be able to help us to determine which crowns are going to be successful, which areas are going to be successful. Now back there, I'll just show you actually. Now obviously these have all died back and they have been harvested relatively heavily over the last few months, but you can kind of see where the plants are still kicking, and then as you obviously get further back and then along here, it seems to peter out a little bit. And I strongly suspect that's because this might be a little bit too shaded in this part of the area, so really from sort of this point onwards. And so I am going to be replacing a sizable number of these crowns, and once I have done so, if we still don't get any results, then obviously there is something that is affecting that, and I suspect is the sunlight. With the rest of these, I mean, rhubarb can survive in partial sun, which is why we have focused so heavily on it, but even rhubarb in its quest for partial sun will struggle in some parts of these lands here. So I do want to make sure that we have a successful harvest next year, and so if we cannot get these particular beds thriving in good order, then we shall reevaluate. Maybe we'll take them out and replace it with something else. Maybe we'll try a different fruit or vegetable or herb. But either way, we will make sure that the space is utilized as effectively as possible, because there's no point trying year after year putting all these crowns in if they're just not going to take. And obviously we have the flag of Stomaria and Wayward, not quite flying in the breeze as yet. A gentle flutter perhaps, but yeah, they always bring a joyous smile to my face when I see them as we walk down. It's just a testament to how far we've come. Now, not that I've been particularly involved with this particular little project. I have been in part. I helped to sort of move the door of the cabin, and it is locked and I just cannot be bothered to actually open it. But we have been doing, I say we, the royal we, King Daniel of Wayward has been renovating inside there, and I'm sure he'll have some updates in due course. It's just going to be turned into like an office space rather than a storage space, because we do have a new shed which is now acting as a storage facility, so that's great to see. And I should note that back here it is becoming a little bit more cluttered again, but we are going to eventually have a little sort out of that. So again, still bits and bobs to do, still a little bit of work to be done, nothing too major, a few stumps here and there down at the bottom there which need to come out. You'll have to forgive some of the mess. As I say, this has been emptied out and refitted in some form or another. And we've actually had a couple of people staying over the weekend on the land as well, so that was nice. And I actually got to meet the brother of one of our colleagues, Waywoodian, and he was a very interesting individual, and I had a conversation with him, and I look forward to catching up with him in due course. But yeah, as I say, there's not a huge amount to report on. I just tend to like wandering through the land and... oh, blackbird. That's the thing. When you're in the woods, and I don't know if anyone else has had this, if you can hear and see, but when you have birds, particularly blackbirds in our case, that are just rustling through the leaves, it always sounds a lot bigger than it actually is. So often, on that side of land is particularly bad. The side that we don't have, we don't own or control it or anything like that. It's someone else's property. And consequently, it's just sort of left to wild. And there's a lot of leaves down on the ground. And every time a bird lands on there and starts doing what these birds are doing, which is throwing up the leaves, it just constantly sounds like someone is walking up towards you. And it can be unnerving, especially if it's later in the evening or whatever else, or you're by yourself. But I don't know if anyone else has had that experience, but it's actually quite a good little safety feature, because when someone does walk around the boundary, you can hear them quite easily. And obviously with the gravel driveway and the gravel pathway cutting through the land here, you can obviously hear people, animals and all the rest of it coming long before you see them. So if nothing else, we'll consider it a security feature. Yeah, I think that was really just about it. I just wanted to give everyone a quick update as to where we're at, because even though I have said in times past that we're probably going to be winding down the progress reports at Southwood and Wayward South, I know there are some people that do like to keep updated with some of the ongoing works here, as minor as they are. So I'll take a few minutes out of my day to make the effort to update everyone accordingly. And if it's not of interest to people, then they don't have to watch. So I think that's just about it. If you want to learn more about Stomaria or play an active role in our development and expansion, visit our website at www.stomaria.com and find out what it means to be a Stomarian.